Welcome back to the Generation Z podcast. I am Matt Gutierrez, and with me is Ibrahim Syed Ahmed. I love doing an intro like that.
Thank you.
It makes me feel empowering or empowered.
Yeah, I was going to fix your punctuation there.
Thank you.
All right, today we're doing something different. What are we doing?
Today, I saw a series of questions on Instagram.
Okay.
So, Russell has those series of questions, and he's just going to run us through them.
All right. What is the first
We don't have to answer
question?
all of them, though. Let's just take its course. Wherever it leads, it leads.
All right. What the hell was that?
What?
Yo, what did you do before this? Why are you so excited?
What do you mean? I just said Russell's going to run us through it.
What was that? You see that? That's not just me. Are you gaslighting me right now?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? What?
All
This
right,
guy's
shut the fuck
on
up.
Something.
What's the question?
First question coming from a unknown user. What do other people believe to be true about you that really isn't?
Repeat it one more time, please. Sorry.
God.
I listened to it. I just want to make sure.
What do other people believe to be true about you that really isn't?
Oh yeah, that's a very good question. Now that I heard it again, I think because I do stand up and I
Yeah.
do public speaking, a lot of people thought that I don't get nervous on stage.
Mm.
A lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, like you look just fine," and I am very nervous.
Very nervous.
Now I'm getting in a place where I'm not, but usually, yeah, I'm very nervous.
How do you combat your nerves?
I have a different strategy these days. I just think about everything as like none of this matters. Like we're all gonna die.
That's what you think about.
Like I'm literally thinking like we're all gonna die. This world is a short-lived life. Like
yeah.
it's not. If I do bad, who cares? No one's gonna remember this night. You
Mm.
know, no one's gonna remember this unless it's truly memorable. If it's just average, or if it sucks,
Yeah.
you know, if it's terrible, maybe. But my point of view is just don't think of this as the thing. Don't think of it
Mm.
as like do or die.
Yeah.
Just
Just do it.
just do it, and that's what I do.
What's the most amount of people you've presented or did stand up or speech in front of? How many people about?
Remember I did the high school graduation speech?
True. That was a
That was probably the most. That was like what, 4,000? What, those two
500 of us, and then all the parents and family, everybody. Probably another
Okay, yeah.
2,000.
3,000 people probably.
Probably
3,000, I
total.
think that's my maximum.
That's a lot of people.
3,000
How did you do
people.
that?
Bro, my high school. Do you remember my high school graduation speech?
Here and there. Do you have it, by the way?
I do
recorded?
have
I
it,
want to
yeah.
hear it again.
Dude, I'll post it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the reason why they picked me was it's not because I had a 4.0 GPA. I had a decent GPA, but
yeah.
you didn't need to be a 4.0 GPA to speak at graduation. You
Right.
just needed to have you auditioned with a bunch of other people who wanted to do the speech, and then the teachers at
Mm.
GAR picked you.
Okay.
So they picked my speech, but the caveat was
Yeah.
I was like, ain't no way I'm just gonna speak the speech I gave them, right? Like I'm gonna do my own twist to it.
Right. Uh-huh.
So I was like, all right, let's. So I inserted some lines in there that were clearly not presented to the teachers before, because I don't want to go through the whole process of bureaucracy. It's a graduation. You're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to
Yeah.
like poke light of the situation. So
what did you say?
I ad-libbed a couple things. Like first of all, I got booed when my graduation speech. I don't know if you remember. I got booed because it was 2018. Kids booed me because I was talking about LeBron.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of the basketball kids, they hated LeBron at the time
Okay.
because he was playing for the Cavs. and
Yeah.
a lot of people in LA hated LeBron before he
Okay.
came to the Lakers. And I was like, LeBron James, I said something. I was like, it's been an honor to see LeBron James cement his legacy as one of the greatest basketball players to ever live. And everybody could boo me. And I was like, what? I was like, no, KD is a snake or something along those lines.
You
I
said that?
Yeah. I was like,
Okay.
KD's a snake. Because Kevin Durant at the time,
Yeah.
he left OKC. He went to the Golden State Warriors.
I can't believe you said that.
And
okay.
I made a couple other
What else did you
jokes.
say? That you added in.
The one joke I had I was like,
I remember teachers were upset about something. Afterwards, like, cause I was in ASP, I remember hearing it from teachers that he wasn't supposed to say this or that. I don't know what it was.
yeah,
though.
I added in a couple. One of the jokes I added in was everybody lost their innocence during high school, or rather after prom. It was like a wordplay joke.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, a lot of us went through puberty, or most of us did.
Yeah.
Then I said something along those lines.
Yeah.
I don't know, small jokes. Yeah.
What did your family say when you said that?
That was fine.
Did they say anything or
No,
no?
I didn't
Did
say
they laugh?
anything. Yeah, I think so.
It was funny.
It was funny, yeah. I'm not. The whole thing, I think if you're doing a graduation speech,
Yeah.
you got to make it funny, bro. Because
True.
everybody talks about the same shit. Oh, 4
Yeah.
years of this. Oh,
Right.
the greatest class ever. Oh, my God. I grew as a person. I am who I am because
Yeah.
of this high school. Oh, my God. I did have some of that in there,
Yeah.
but, you know.
Well, yeah, you had to have some. What I remember distinctly about your speech was the college portion.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that just Ibrahim, for those who don't know him necessarily, he was a great student. He did lots of
I
things.
was a very okay student.
No, you were okay. Just put it on a scale of the
Yeah.
class. You were a really good student.
Overall, like not
Overall,
academically as much.
Yeah, but like you did MUN.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
really good with speech, right? You had essays published, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
He was a great student. Just
I was an okay high school student. Yeah, above average. Yeah.
no, you were good, bro.
Okay,
You were
thank
really
you.
good. Comparably to everybody, you were
my
really
parents,
good.
My mom reminds me of my GPA. She's like, I
What was it?
got C's in high school, bro.
What was it? Your GPA?
3.57
Okay.
on a
that-
4.0 scale. Yeah.
on a 4. Okay, that's fine, bro.
3.56, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
something like that.
That's
But
a good
senior year
GPA.
grades
Yes.
messed it up. Senior year grades messed it up.
Really?
Yeah, cause I didn't care. I
Oh.
got like C's.
Yeah.
Second semester, I was like, I'm
Regardless,
sorry.
bro, you were a great student. Like
Okay.
generally speaking, right? In
Sure.
clubs and like activities, how people like how you presented yourself. You were like
I
you're one
want
of
to
those
present.
guys.
No, I disagree. I presented myself. Bro.
No, I think so, bro. People
Really?
I think people took you more serious than an average student.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Regardless, right?
Yeah.
But in the speech, you talked about college that rejected you, basically.
Oh
right?
yeah, you remember that?
I
Wow.
remember that, bro.
That's wild.
That was because I was powerful. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that was
Because
5 years
for
ago.
most students, bro, seeing Ibrahim up there, he's a S Secretary General MUN. He's done this, he's done that, right? People are like, wow, even this guy can get rejected this many times.
Yeah. So the story I said in my graduation
Yeah.
speech at high school was I applied to 26 colleges.
Right.
I don't know why I did that. It's because my family was broke at the time and we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a bunch of fee waivers.
Okay.
So like
Why not? Go
yeah,
after
I was
it.
like
yeah.
I would just apply to all this doesn't cost me
Cost,
anything.
right,
So
right.
why not? So I applied to 26 colleges. I got waitlisted and rejected by 19 of them.
19.
19. And yeah, so then but then I got it. Yeah. So that was the whole story. Like don't give
Yeah.
up.
Don't
Yeah.
give up, yeah. And the last one that accepted you, right,
Was USC,
Was
yeah.
USC.
That was the last one. Yeah.
See, bro, things happen, man.
Yeah.
Things
Everything
happen.
happens for a reason. man.
Exactly, dude. I thought that was like a big thing. That was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, man. 5 years.
5 years ago, huh?
It's half a
20
decade.
No, more, bro. 6.
Oh, damn.
2018.
Oh my God. No.
Yes, sir.
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
That's more than half a decade.
So how did you prep for that? Like, was that an easier one for you to do because it wasn't like so serious?
You know what? I'm sure you've done a lot of public speaking yourself, first of all. So like
Yeah.
like how it goes, but in my opinion, one of the keys to public speaking
Yeah.
is to lower the temperature in the room
Mm.
and just make everybody feel at ease so you could feel at ease. I think that's what I've
Okay.
discovered through stand up. Like
yeah.
if you go in a room
Yeah.
and everybody's like tensed up, like you don't address the crowd, you don't lower, you don't
Mm.
crack a joke, you
Yeah.
don't break the ice right off the bat, it's harder because you just have to get everybody on your side. Like, oh, this is gonna be a fun time. Like this is gonna be a cool time. We'll get to
Right.
learn stuff, but we'll also get to poke fun at each other. So you have to establish that. Like what is this gonna be?
Okay.
So for that speech,
Yeah.
like right off the bat, like I cracked some jokes. Right? Like I talked about LeBron being the greatest player, one of the greatest players. I got booed, and then I was like, KD is a snake.
Yeah.
Like people, the basketball crowd in the audience got that.
Right. But
So
that
it's-
was a strategy kind of going in?
No, that was ad lib. Like
That was
I was like,
ad-libbed,
what?
oh,
I
okay.
didn't know I was gonna get booed, bro.
No, I know, but like keeping like the the temperature lower.
Yeah, I didn't know those things at the time, right? Like
Okay.
I told you, I think we've talked about this. Like growing up, when I did speeches,
Yeah.
the first time I ever spoke, I forgot every single word. I couldn't say
Right.
anything. I just got off the stage saying like absolutely, like I don't
Yeah.
even remember. So I stand up comedy. The gift it's given me, man, is it's just helped me lose my fear of people.
Mm.
Because a lot of people are
Yes.
just we're not scared, but we have a fear of strangers. Like we have
Yeah.
a fear of people.
Right.
And in stand-up, when you do these rooms, when you're talking to these random people that
Mhm.
you have nothing in, you don't know them,
Yeah.
and you're trying to make them laugh,
Right.
that just gives you the skill to be like, okay, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
who this
It's not
person.
that serious.
It's not that deep.
Okay. So that's what you've learned. But at the time, you just went up and you're just like, let me just do this.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Were
just
you
like-
nervous?
To be honest, for that one,
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't remember being as nervous because I was like, oh my god, let's see what it's good. Because I was like preparing. I was like, I felt like a badass because I was like saying some stuff that I wasn't supposed to say, and like these teachers didn't know I was gonna say.
It was a
these
good
jokes.
speech, though.
Yeah,
It was a good speech.
yeah, it was all right. Yeah, something I don't
Yeah.
even notice, but I had like that graduation stall.
Oh yeah, stole, huh?
It kept like I don't know if you
Oh
remember.
yeah, I remember that. I kept falling. You were like
Yeah,
fixing.
I was nervous to fix it. That's something like I was like, oh my god, it's
Like
yeah.
embarrassed, kind of.
Not embarrassed. I was just like something like that. Like I didn't know how to address fixing that stool. But now if that happened to me in stand up, like if I had
just say it.
I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? I would just address it.
Yeah.
One of the other things about public speaking is
Mhm.
say the things you're thinking. Like if a mess up happens, if
Yeah.
somebody heckles, just
Address it.
acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Address it. Just say what you're thinking in the moment.
Right.
And that lets everybody feel at ease because chances are they're thinking it too. So
True.
they're like, oh my god, yes. The whole thing about stand up is also
Yeah.
and public speaking is making people feel less alone.
Less alone.
Like you have to be like, oh, the whole point is like observational comedy, right?
Yeah.
Like you do a joke and the person sitting in the audience is like, oh my god, I think about that every day, but this guy
I see.
just said it in a way
yeah.
that just yes, of course you're right,
Right.
of course.
Yeah, that's a good
You
point.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, what were you saying right before? I forgot. You were saying something right before you were saying another thing with comedy.
Feeling less alone,
Before that.
addressing, acknowledging the room, saying things, being conscious of if something happens.
Being conscious. There you go. I think that's an important lesson, not just with like public speaking, but just having a conversation, even one-on-one, or even because there's multiple types of public speaking, right? There's one-on-one communication. That's a duad, right? A duo. Then you have a triad, 3 people,
Yes.
and then growing, right? I think something that's really important is acknowledging things. So even if you're trying to make a point, but you know you've messed up in the past, own that mess up, right? And so they can't say anything against you, basically. So you're like protecting yourself from any potential recourse. Does that make sense? I think that's important. Or like even if you're in an argument and they're gonna, you know what they're gonna throw in because people always bring shit from the past in an argument, right? You bring it up. Yes, I'm an idiot. I did this and I did that.
Yeah.
And what? Right? It protects you because now they can't say anything. Now they're like stuck, right? They can't attack your character because you've already established your character. I think that's important in general. And then I think when public speaking especially, that's a good point. Addressing things. I think it's a little different though, right? When you're giving a speech to address people. No.
I think it depends on
Mhm.
the room, right?
Okay.
It depends on the room. So like
In an MUN conference, how would you
Model
address the
United
room?
Nations
Yeah.
for those who don't know. It's like we're literally mimicking the United Nations. So you have
Right.
to speak on behalf of countries.
Right.
So in that scenario, dude, I wish I was more funny, man, in high school. God.
Really?
Yeah, man. God, it would be so much more fun. 'Cause-
True.
Yeah.
No, but an MUN conference, how are you gonna say a speech?
you could make everything. You could make anything funny, bro. Oh my God, you could
You would
make
have
it
made the speeches funny?
not funny, but I would have like addressed. I would have like roasted other countries more. I would have been like,
Not in your speech though.
I could have done that. Yeah.
You would have done
Yeah, I
that?
would've
I don't
done
think
that.
so, bro. That just wasn't the vibe.
If I'm
Yeah.
the person I am right now
Uh-huh.
and I go back, but that's the thing. You have to change the vibe. That's the thing. You have the responsibility
yeah,
to change the vibe if that's what you want to do.
right.
If you want to,
But if you're trying to win, how are you going to? How are
you
you
can. There's just you just have to be smart.
figure it out,
Smart
yeah.
jokes.
Okay,
There's a comedian called Sammy Obeid. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
Sammy Obeid. Shout out Sammy Obeid. He's the only comedian who is smart enough and
Okay.
brave enough to talk about the Palestinian plight. He's Palestinian himself.
Okay.
He's half Palestinian, half Lebanese. Dude, and he has the smartest jokes.
What's
he
his
has
name?
Sammy Obeid.
Okay.
SAMMY
Maybe. Okay.
OBEID.
Was he on the Lex podcast recently?
Maybe.
I think I've yeah. Then I've seen
he has
it.
a beard.
Yeah, he has a
That's
beard.
not-
Yeah. I think I
He
know what
has
you're
a
talking
beard.
about. Yeah. I don't know his name.
That's my
but
reference.
He's a comedian. He's really smart with his humor. He was talking about.
Yeah, he went to
Palestine.
Berkeley.
Yes. Okay.
Did he talk about that?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Think
He
so,
was
okay.
used to be a teacher. He used to be a math teacher.
He's a mathematician. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, okay.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
I know.
He's that dude. His jokes are some
Yeah.
of the smartest wordplay jokes.
Yeah.
And yeah, like if I were to implement that into a model United Nation conference, of course it could work. That's the best room to
Mm.
try those jokes because those nerds will be like, ha ha ha, oh my god.
Those-
They would have like a,
Yeah.
oh Lord, have mercy, yeah, type of moment.
That's a good point, huh?
But to your point though, it is,
It's reading the room.
it's reading the room.
Yeah.
You have to read the room. Like you can't overdo it.
Right.
You can't unless you. It's complicated, man. But
I've learned that the hard way. Like
Have you?
I've definitely made like maybe not in a presentation type setting, but with family and like maybe serious topics up, and I've made some jokes that maybe I shouldn't have made, and nobody's laughing but me. And thinking back, it was like, it probably wasn't the best thing to say in the moment, right?
dude's bombing at his house.
Literally, bro.
bombing at his own house.
That's one thing about me, bro. I throw lots of jokes out there. A lot of them don't land. They make me laugh. So it's always okay with me if I'm laughing at something I'm saying. But the more things you throw out, the more people are going to laugh, right? So that's the way I think about it.
I don't know how you do it because you're probably the only person I know. I have to give you credit, where you're always in a funny mood. Like there's never a time where I say something funny or a joke and
Yeah.
you're like not. You're like stoic. I've never seen you like that.
No.
You always have like
Like if you
in a
say something
jolly
funny,
mood. Yeah. If I were to
Yeah.
say something, you'd like you'd think about it and then process it and
Yeah.
then, respond to it.
I like to respect people.
Yeah, which is
bro.
good. No, but the
Uh-huh.
thing is, you're always funny, which is good. There's not that many
Oh,
people
okay,
who are
gotcha.
always in that mood to be
Oh,
funny.
Gotcha.
Because that's just
Yeah.
who you just take life in that way.
I take life in that way. Yeah, I take life, bro, because nobody really knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're really saying.
Yeah.
And like if you take life just less serious, just like you said, if you take life less serious, in general, man, there's not that many things that are really important. They could be very important to you, but are they really important in the grand scheme of things? Probably not. And so like to me, the funniest stuff is when somebody like they're talking about a story and I was so embarrassed, right? And it's like, what are you embarrassed about? Nobody was really thinking about you. Like to me, that's hilarious that in their head they're feeling ashamed or embarrassed or like, why did I do that? Because reality, dude, is nobody cares about you. Nobody thinks about what you're saying or how you're acting, right? So it's like, take the edge. And even if they are, because there are some people out there that do, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who cares?
We're
right?
definitely way more self-conscious about ourselves than
Yes,
others are.
exactly.
Overly. Yeah.
Yes.
It's-
So the way I take things, dude, like I don't like to be serious, man. I don't like to be sad. I don't like to be, especially when I'm around people. If I'm by myself, it's a different story, right? But when I'm around people, I want people to feel happy. To like I want to remember times where we're not like arguing or like in a shitty mood. Like we're laughing and cracking jokes, right?
Yeah.
Like we're always doing that. And if I take it that way, then that tends to lighten the room up too.
it helps the vibe, because the vibe of a room is very important.
Mm.
It can lead to.
Make or break. Yeah.
it can
yeah.
make or break things for
Yeah.
sure. It is that deep. I guess.
Does it lighten your mood?
Yeah, for sure.
Does it? Oh.
When I see you being funny, yeah, it's good, man. It's good to have those people because a lot of people, like you said, they're taking life way too seriously. Like I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I'm at an open mic recently, and this
Okay.
comedian, oh my god, bro, I see him once in a while. He's the most stressed out of his mind, and he's
Okay.
just like, I'm just not funny. Like I've been
Really?
he told me like I've been doing this, and I have a job, and
I think I met this guy, right? He went up, me, Russ, and you.
no,
were there?
no, that's
different
something.
guy?
No, that's
Okay,
the new
okay,
guy.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
that's-
Anyway.
And I was like, he's a funny guy,
Yeah.
but he just doesn't. Like, it's an open mic. You're
Yeah.
gonna fail. The whole point of it is failing and getting
Yeah.
comfortable with failing. But he takes it so seriously that he's like, "Yeah, I'm just not funny." I'm like, "No, you are funny. Believe in yourself. It's an open
Interesting.
mic. Don't treat it like this.
Yeah.
Don't be so serious. You're a comedian, for God's sake."
Yeah, for
But,
sure.
Yeah. So it's
And it dampens your mood probably, huh? When he's talking like this, like, oh my gosh, dude.
yeah, it
Right?
affects you. I'm like, oh damn. I hope I'm not like that one day.
Do you
I
feel like
don't-
that ever?
I do feel down a lot.
Mhm.
Sure.
No,
but-
no. When he's talking about it, like he's feeling down. do
No,
you
I
feel-
just inspire. I just help him up.
Help
I'm-
him?
I just poke fun. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Why are you sitting like that?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, you
yeah.
have a. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Whatever. I just make fun of them or
Right,
lighten
right,
the
right.
situation.
to dampen the mood more. Yeah.
You made a
or to
good
bring
point
up-
though. You said a lot of people think of public speaking in terms of speaking to crowds,
Mhm.
but it's also one-on-one communication.
Yeah.
That is literally public speaking.
it is
Anything where you have to speak to anybody is public speaking,
right.
and that's a skill in it.
Oh,
in it-
dude.
in of it I can't.
in of
even-
itself.
There
Yeah.
you go.
It's
Thank you.
definitely a skill in of itself. I think each type of conversation, whether it's a one-on-one, right? It's 3 people, it's more than 5 people, or you're talking to a group of people. Those are all different skill sets. And you have to be able to communicate. Like on a one-on-one, so this is, for example, on a one-on-one, you have to be able to read the person, right? How are they feeling? And then conversate that way, okay? In a trio, if there's 3 of you guys, 2 people are always going to agree on something and one person isn't.
Hmm.
And so that's a different dynamic, right? So now you have to figure out either if you're trying to be funny and trying to gang up on the person, how do you do that properly? Or if you're trying to not make the other person feel so out, how do you communicate that so he feels included, right? Or she, whatever. And then in a group of more people, if you have 5 or more people and you're saying something, more likely than not, they're not going to call you out on whatever you're saying. In a 3-person thing, you're going to call your buddy out, right? Or they're going to be like, that's not true. But in a group setting, they're probably not going to throw you out on blast in front of everybody because they're gonna be putting themselves out there. And then if it ends up being true, then they're the dumb ones.
Hmm.
So you can say things more confidently. And that's a crazy thing. In a group setting or even a public like stage audience setting, you can say things, and as long as you have confidence while you're saying it, people are going to take it more likely than not as the truth.
It's all about delivery and confidence.
It is. It's
That's
all
what
about
it
delivery and
is.
confidence.
It's literally that's
Yeah.
what it is. If you look at all the great comedians,
Yeah,
they might not have the best material. A lot of them do,
right.
but their delivery is perfect.
It is.
It's perfect.
They know
there's
when
no there's no false notes there.
Right.
And because their delivery is so perfect, it just makes it so much more memorable
Yeah,
and more funny.
that's true. That's definitely true.
That is probably the biggest takeaway if you're listening to this is if you speak
Yeah.
from a lens of genuineness, and if you do that,
Yeah.
you'll innately have confidence.
100%. You couldn't have said that more perfect, bro.
Yeah. If you're genuine to
Yeah.
yourself and you're speaking,
Yeah.
you'll just be more confident. It's when we're trying to do something where we don't feel genuine is
Yeah.
we're not confident.
Right.
You know, just be yourself, which is your genuine self.
Yeah.
The result of that is confidence. And if it's not, work on that
Right.
because it's not always automatic, sure.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, it's game over.
It is, dude. Literally. If you're authentic and like if even a lot of people when you don't know somebody and you're trying to talk to them, you'll hide things, right? Or like maybe like this happens all the time. Somebody we don't know will come into the group and we'll say something like you'll make a joke about my toilet sessions or whatever. And if I get like, why are you
Yeah.
saying that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But if
yeah.
you give in and you laugh about it,
yes.
they're gonna laugh too.
Yes.
Because it's not that fucking serious,
Yeah.
right? So if you're authentic and you're just who you are, and it doesn't matter who's listening, people will take you less serious, and they'll like. I think people admire that more actually, because they tend to not be that themselves.
Absolutely.
Right?
And, you know, in friend groups, I've noticed it's important if everybody roasts each other.
Yes,
If you're only roasting one person,
yes, it gets
that's
old.
It gets old, and it's just like you're just like bullying somebody at the end
It's
of the
literally
day.
just bullying,
You're
yeah.
just bullying somebody,
Yeah.
and it's not fun.
Right.
And if you do that, you're just a weirdo, or you're either a coward, or you're
It's
just
just not right. Yeah.
you just can't think of any more jokes. So
Yeah.
which something I appreciate about our friends is like we always roast each other.
Right.
Like you roast me, I
Yeah.
roast you. It's reciprocal for
Right.
the most. Obviously, I roast you more than you roast. Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
I can take it.
But I'm saying,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, everybody roasts each other, which is
Yeah.
a beautiful thing, man.
It is, dude.
And I wish I was like this more before because it is definitely something
yeah.
we don't have naturally. Like, naturally, I think humans are like, we have our senses up. We don't want to
Mm.
offend anybody.
anybody,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
we don't want to, like,
Yeah.
be the center
Of attention. You don't want to be the center of attention.
Well, in a negative way. In a negative way, right?
You don't. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Because a lot of people love being the center of
True,
attention.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to be seen as that person
Yeah.
that's putting somebody else on blast.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Can I say before I forget?
Okay.
If somebody who gets bullied in
Yeah.
high school or middle school, can I recommend you guys something? The key, you can get stronger physically, and you should.
Yeah.
But something you should do, highly recommend, is stand-up comedy. If I could go back to my middle school version or high school version,
Yeah.
just try stand-up comedy, bro. Just do it for fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to aspire to be a big comedian. If that's what you want to do, go for it.
Right.
But I think every kid who gets bullied should try it.
I think everybody should try stand up.
Yeah, everybody. But especially
Yeah.
people who are bullied
Right.
or feel like they have something to say and they can't say,
Can't
they
say
should
it.
definitely try stand-up
I see what
comedy.
you're saying. Yeah, it's an outlet.
It's an
Yeah.
outlet, and it just makes you stand up for yourself.
Right.
Because it's a process of I didn't even. That was
Yeah.
not no pun intended. But literally, stand up comedy
Yeah.
makes you stand up for yourself.
Right.
And it's a process of self discovery.
It is.
Go ahead though.
What I was gonna say is like just jumping off of that, piggybacking. Stand up. I think public speaking is the number one biggest fear ever, right? If anybody, that's not everybody, sorry, but in the world, that's the number one biggest fear, right?
Really?
Not stand up, sorry, public speaking.
Yeah.
So if everyone tries stand up, I would say even more than speeches, it takes the edge off, right? So you're up there trying to lighten the mood. You're not up there trying to make the mood tighter, because you can make the mood more tight and people are just like, who is this guy? But in stand up, you can make a joke that bombs, but guess what? You still have another joke coming, and that can be positive, right? And you're lightening the mood. You're like trying to make it more fun, and you know what I'm saying? So I think if people did stand up more, or like even just tried it, I think public speaking in general, but if you did that, it'll be a little easier to talk in public. Would you agree?
100%, yeah.
Right. Yeah, right.
The thing also about stand up is there's so many little things that I'm discovering. Like the
Mhm.
way you walk into a room, such a big impact. Have
Yeah.
you looked at the way Chris Rock walks into a room
No.
when he does stand up?
No.
Bro, he walks like he's the man.
Yeah.
He
Oh, confident, yeah.
literally has like a unique
A swagger,
stand up
bro.
walk.
Yeah. Okay.
It's borderline arrogance, but
Uh-huh.
like
He's got swag.
he's got
Yeah.
he's just like he walks in like he's hyped up, bro. He's just like, I am the man. This is my show. You're welcome. Shit your asses down, and I'm gonna run this thing.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, you'll be laughing your asses off. That's the energy he brings in automatically,
That's
and
fair.
that takes a lot of time to develop.
Right.
Because at the heart of that is confidence, and that is like he feels so comfortable in his own skin.
Does he?
He does. A lot of great comics,
Yeah.
all great comics do
They
this.
do.
They walk into the room like they own that room, and you
Yeah.
have to. You have to be overconfident as a comic for sure.
Overconfident.
You have to be overconfident, especially when you enter the room. You have
Yeah.
to be overconfident, not cocky.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be
Yeah.
but
Fuck you. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, you can. Some comics
Yeah.
do that too.
Yeah. I think overconfidence can come in different ways. You don't have to always walk in like this is like, you know what I'm saying? You can walk in kind of like Bert Kreischer. He walks in, now that I'm thinking about it, he
Yeah.
like kind of dorky.
But that's also his
big,
vibe.
exactly. But
style.
he's still confident, right? When
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
guess so.
Yeah, you can walk in different ways and it still portrays like that confidence.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about how he takes off his shirt
Bert, I know,
before he
bro.
does every.
But that's his thing. That's confidence, bro. Taking off your shirt in front of people.
That you know what with a body like his,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of guts to take his shirt off
Yeah.
every single time he does stand up, and he still refuses to change his ways. No, I mean that's
It's
his
made
style.
him lots of money.
That's his style.
Yeah.
Respect. I give him respect.
Yeah, there you go.
He actually feels comfortable in his own skin.
He
let's be
feels
honest.
comfortable in his
He
skin.
feels
Yeah,
way
yeah.
too comfortable.
Yeah,
That's
way
the problem.
too comfortable.
Way too comfortable.
Oh, Bert. Oh, Bert.
But something
Yeah.
that I was thinking about this though, bro, and I don't know if if you've done stand up too a couple times, and the thing about stand up is you have to differentiate stand up from real life, because
Okay.
what I've been doing a lot is
Yeah.
just like thinking of everything as stand up, and it's
Everything has stand up.
like just everything as like a joke.
Oh, gotcha.
Like it's like, oh my god, like how do I
Mm.
make this funny? Like,
Yeah.
and that's not the most healthiest. Like you should have boundaries. I feel like with any art. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like as an actor,
Right.
if you're doing method acting, and you're playing a role of a serial killer, I hope you're not living life as a serial killer.
Right.
Like you can to get into that role, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's like a very fine line.
Right.
Because I do appreciate method acting and it's like cool, but
Right.
you know what I'm saying, right? Like you have
Yeah.
to differentiate. Because one of my biggest fears with stand up is because you have to be so overconfident.
Yeah.
I don't want to become arrogant because I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen from afar a lot of big comedians
Yeah.
were kind of arrogant
Right.
because the art form they do makes them so.
Makes them arrogant. Yeah.
And that like is not a good thing in my opinion. You
Right.
have to protect yourself as a young
Arrogance is
comedian
never a
from
good
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arrogance leads to pride, and pride is the devil. Literally, right? That's like
That's what J. Cole says.
as J. Cole says, but it's the truth. He's not the only one that said it, right? This has been
No,
a
he's
thing.
the only one.
He's the only one, J. Cole. Yeah, bro.
Pride is the devil.
Right. That's a good song. But anyway, yeah, bro. That what? Oh, So, yeah, I forgot what we're talking about.
So we were talking about public speaking, and
Yeah.
something I'm also learning, man, about public speaking through stand up
Yeah.
is just slow down for me. Like
In life, slow down in life.
No, I was just saying, like, when you talk to somebody,
Oh,
slow
when you
down.
talk-
Like,
oh.
yeah, but slow down too in life too. Yeah, because when you speak to somebody,
Yeah.
you have more weight and power if you speak
Slow-
slowly
true.
with emphasis.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just like saying a bunch of sentences and I'm saying this and I'm saying that, it's
Yeah.
just like you're kind of disrespecting the crowd because you're expecting them to
Yeah.
juggle all these different things
Mm,
and then give you a very specific response.
I
You
see.
can try it in your stand up for sure. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, be more particular
Yeah.
and conscious of your words.
You have more control when you're talking to somebody when you're speaking slow, right? Like it like you said, holds weight when you're speaking, and you can kind of read a room better too when you're speaking slow to see how you should change your tone or vibe or joke, high, low, right, inflection, whatever. That's
Mhm.
true. That's a good point.
Yeah, and it makes you more articulate. Even with podcasting,
That's a fact, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
if you speak slowly,
Yeah.
because you're processing, you're actually like transcribing the words you're saying in your mind.
Yeah.
You can literally, I am going to say X, Y, and Z, and this means
Dude.
A, B, and C.
100%. Dude, for a long time, I think I still do. I speak fast?
Depends.
One what true, but for a long time I think throughout high school and before I would speak fast, dude, and I would stumble on my words a lot. And dude, and so I told myself, I don't know if it was senior year or freshman year of college, but I was like, I need to figure out a way because I hate mumbling, bro. I hate like missing out on words. And so I was like, how do I solve this? And I was watching Jordan Peterson. And Jordan
Mm.
Peterson is extremely articulate, and he can say things in a fashion that's like, it's pretty phenomenal to me. So, but I was just watching how he spoke, and he can speak fast, but that's only when he's on a passion, right, on a passionate speech. But normally speaks very slow, very conservative, and I started doing that for a while, and it helped me. So now even when I speak fast, I don't stumble on my words so much.
Right.
So when you speak slower and like you said, you become more articulate, you can slowly grow that into like different types of conversations.
What about Ben Shapiro?
Ben
He
Shapiro speaks
spooks
fast, but he also holds weight when he's talking for some reason.
yeah.
He's very articulate, yeah. Quan said he's very articulate.
I don't know Ben Shapiro personally,
Yeah.
but the way he talks doesn't make me like him.
Really?
He's not affable in that way.
Okay.
That's not a diss on him.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just observing what I see. I don't know him personally.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
obviously disagree with a lot of what he has to say, but just his way of talking,
Yeah.
that doesn't attract me.
Really?
To listen to him.
I think
yeah.
it attracts. I don't know if it attracts me. I don't agree with everything he says, but there's some things that I agree on, and I think he says things very concisely, and like very to the point that make it likable. I think a lot of people do like him, bro. And there are a lot of people that don't like him, right? But there's a reason a lot of people like him. There's something that he does. He does have that. He has something about him that draws you in.
Sure. No, he has millions of people who listen to him and value his opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he speaks in a at times
Mm-hmm.
at times he can speak in a condescending way. Like he can be condescending.
Yeah.
And I don't think he means that. It's
Mhm.
just the way he
It comes
talks.
off.
It comes
Mm.
off that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure he's thought about that. I don't know actually. I don't know. I
Can you
don't know
name?
him.
I think all public commentators can come off very condescending.
At times, but the thing
Yeah.
is, for me, Ben Shapiro, most of the time,
You think
I
it's
feel like he's
condescending?
looking down on someone.
Really?
Yeah, like he's speaking like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Like
whoa,
he's
whoa.
better.
Like his perspective is just obviously more intellectual. That's what it comes. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
listened to him in a long while, but
Right.
my point, yeah, I think there's different styles of public speaking,
Yeah.
and it depends on your personality. Because maybe for some people, that's
Yeah.
just what they like to see,
Mm.
and they can associate with that more,
Yeah.
and that's just the way they're wired.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Some people can just speak fast, bro. They're just able to have that in them.
I think he has one of those.
He has that,
skill.
yeah.
Yeah.
That to me is pretty awesome too, though. Like it holds weight to speak slow, but for your brain to be able to think as fast as you're speaking, oh man, that
He doesn't stumble on his words.
he doesn't stumble.
Yeah.
And I doubt it's always been that way. I know he started. I was watching a podcast and he was in it recently. I don't know if it was Doesn't matter who it was. But I was watching a podcast recently with him in it, and they asked how he started. And he started as, I think, like a in-school journalist or something like that. He was doing something for their school, and then he started like speaking on the loudspeaker, and then he grew it, whatever, right? So it's all a work in process, is my point. This is all a work in process. He found his path to become a public commentator, and to be a public commentator, you have to be articulate.
Absolutely.
You have to speak fast, speak slow, know how to communicate, and it all just takes time.
You know who I think is one of the best people at talking?
Ooh,
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
People always are
Yeah.
like, how come Joe Rogan has the biggest and best podcast in the world?
Yeah,
There's a reason why. First of all, he has that background of being a comedian.
right.
But if you listen to his podcast, he just takes things very slowly. Like he has this a way
mm-hmm.
of processing information live, and he
Yeah.
articulates it in a way where you don't feel like you're not on the journey with him in terms of learning what
True.
it is
Yeah, yeah.
about the other person that he's trying to learn. He has a way of processing his thoughts live in a very articulate way.
Joe Rogan has a lot of attributes that like make him who he is. I think he's extremely relatable to people, right? To men especially, he's very relatable.
Yeah.
He makes you, like you said, he makes you feel included in the conversation. He doesn't make it feel like that he's this guy worth.
And he does it effortlessly.
He does it effortlessly.
Like he's never like, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. He doesn't make it feel like he's this guy with hundreds of millions and you're just a guest on my podcast.
Right.
He makes it feel like this is our podcast today, right?
Yeah.
He talks slow. He doesn't make it feel like he's this genius or he's this ultra smart guy, right? He's a very smart guy. His memory is probably almost unmatched, bro. This guy's memory on a podcast that he's had from years ago, right?
Is it just, his voice is soothing? Is it just me?
Soothing?
Yeah. It's not.
I don't
Am
know
I
about
just like
soothing.
fiending over Joe
Yeah,
Rogan
maybe,
now?
bro.
Joe Rogan, my savior.
There's a lot of Joe stands out there.
Yeah, and a lot of people bag on Joe Rogan fans,
Lots of
which
Joe.
I'm like,
Why do they bag, bro? He just. This is the thing I don't understand
people
about
hate
people.
other success. That's
True,
what it
they
is.
hate people's success, but how can you hate somebody if in somebody's heart they're trying to help you? You can't hate on that.
Yeah, he's a genuine guy.
But even if he's wrong, he might be wrong. I don't know. I don't think he's wrong, but he might be wrong.
I don't think he's wrong at anything.
No, well, I'm just saying like what
Yeah.
people perceive him as, right? Like this hard ass guy making men whatever, right? His perception of him, that's what people hate on. But if you look at who he is, and people in general, not just Joe, people in general, if you look at who people are, and you can tell if somebody genuinely has good intentions
Mhm.
or if they don't. They may not be right, but even if they're wrong, they're just trying to help. That's it. He has his platform. He has an obligation to help. I think if this podcast blows up, I think we have an obligation to help people. And however that's the way we see it. I don't know if it's the same way that Joe helps people, right? But there's certain beliefs that we think that might be wrong. But if they're right, we're trying to help them.
I listened to Joe Rogan for hours on end.
Yeah.
And based on that listening experience,
Hours on end.
based on that education that I received,
Yeah.
I think his heart is in a good place. It's in the right place. He comes from a place of being genuine and trying to help people. And so I respect that.
Yeah.
And this has been our audition to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. Joe, let us know
Joe?
when we can hop on.
Joe, have you ever had two 23-year-olds on your podcast?
Has he?
I don't think so.
so. You'd break a record, Joe.
Hey, Joe, this is your opportunity. His opportunity.
I think it'll happen, God willing.
God willing, it will.
I think we'd get along really well with Joe.
With Joe,
Like,
yeah.
I think he'd be impressed.
Quant and Jamie
Yeah, he would
in the
like us.
back.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be lit.
I think he would like us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would. I think it'll probably happen. If I have to put a year on it, God willing, probably 2026.
It's 26.
Yeah,
2 years?
2026. End of 2026, probably.
Okay.
2.5 years.
But that's what we're shooting for.
I mean, that's not my goal, but I just think it's
No,
a
yeah.
byproduct of the work we do.
Bro, that's a huge thing to be on the Joe pod.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a huge thing.
I think it'll happen by the end of
Yeah.
2026. God willing.
What I think Joe would, I think he would appreciate. He talks a lot. He talks pretty poor about our generation in general.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
I mean,
Younger generation, which is fine. Like he has
not
valid
always,
points.
because no,
Mhm.
because I was listening to his podcast recently, and
Yeah.
he was like, I understand
Okay.
with the perspective we're coming from, but he sees it
Mhm.
obviously as an older guy.
100%. And I think a lot of his points are valid. There's a lot I don't agree with our generation with, but there's a
Mhm.
lot I do agree. But I think he can appreciate. I don't know if he can, but I think he would appreciate like maybe our mild heads. Like we're not
mild heads. You
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
mild headed. That's a real term.
Really?
Yeah,
I
being
didn't know
mild headed.
that.
Yeah, not like
Mild, like
going
spicy
ape
mild?
shit or like far left, far right. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? We're like we're tuned in basically. I think he can appreciate.
We're
that.
we don't have a propaganda. We're
Yes,
not
Yeah.
zealous Republicans
Right,
or
right.
Democrats. I have no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We're independents.
Yeah. Some things you agree with, some things you
You
don't.
don't. Yeah.
And there's a reason behind why we agree.
yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
I would love to talk to him about all the different stuff he's done. Like,
Just I would talk to him. Forget the pod. Right?
how does he have
Forget
so
his
many
podcast.
hobbies, bro? He's the only man in America with that many hobbies, bro. How does he still like spend time with his family and wife? He does everything.
They probably all do it together.
Yeah.
He's a
'cause
family
he works
guy,
out of
too.
home, right?
Worked. Yeah, bro.
Does he?
Have you
He
seen
has
his
a-
mansion? He's got probably 3 rooms of gym equipment.
Probably more.
Probably
He's
more.
got
I don't know.
a room for vitamins.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it? AG, whatever he promotes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
What else did you want to address about public speaking? Because speaking of public speaking, the reason why we're cutting the
Yeah.
podcast short is I have to do stand up at
What
2
time is it?
p.m. At 2 p.m.
What time
on
is
a
it?
Wednesday. It's 1:20.
120 right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you 10 minutes.
I have 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. What else do I want to address about public speaking? A lot of people say imagine the room naked because it basically
yeah.
takes the mood off, right?
Yeah.
To my opinion, dude, I guess it's also a way I just approach life. I don't like taking. It feels like it's a kind of a way out of it,
Yeah.
right? Which some people need that, but I think if you take the hard way, just acknowledging the people looking at. A lot of people don't. You said this before. You don't like looking at people right in the eyes when you're
Now I
speaking.
do.
Now you do, but you didn't. If you just address it in the beginning, in the first few public speeches or in the room, and you just look at them and you kind of face that fear, it becomes a lot easier. That's at least. I don't know. I don't think I initially had a fear of public speaking, actually. I think it developed more and more as I heard people say that they had a fear of it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Great point. Growing up when I was doing public speaking,
Yeah.
a lot of these people who would like coach me or like tell me,
Yeah.
there's only one. I had one speech and debate teacher in middle school,
Okay.
and God bless her, she would say, picture people naked on stage.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, picture people naked. I started to do that,
Yeah.
and I got more scared. I was like,
got more
no.
scared.
I was like, I'm not- I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
All this genetic makeup of people. I don't think this is the best way to do this, guys. So, but the thing is, what she was trying to say,
Yeah.
in my opinion, was picture everybody like it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because if you picture everybody naked, right,
Yeah.
you're basically reducing their self-worth,
Yeah.
right, in a
Yeah, in a
sense. And you're
sense.
just like, yo, I'm the guy who has the authority to speak to these people. They're listening to me.
Right.
I'm in a position of power.
Yeah.
So let me do my job of being in that position and
Mm.
use that power wisely
Yeah.
and do it in a way where I'm not intimidated by the people I am talking to.
Right.
They are listening to me. So
Mm.
a better phrase, a
Yeah.
comedian, Jay Farrow, he
Okay.
told me, he said, be naked on stage.
Be naked on stage.
Be naked
Yeah,
on stage,
okay.
which I think is a way better
is.
saying, because yes, I can picture myself being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's saying. Like you be vulnerable. Take the risks.
Yeah.
Like it's not that deep. Try
Okay.
everything. And I think that helps you more, right? Because you
Yeah.
can picture yourself, because you've seen yourself naked a lot of times. I don't know,
Right.
You know, hopefully a person has.
And that's
you
a
know?
way to face your fear too, right? If
Yeah.
everyone's looking at you naked, that's an added level of
Right.
fear. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Great advice, man.
Great advice.
Yeah.
My whole thing is with anything in general, face the fear, nip it in the butt. As soon as you nip it in the butt, you are golden. You can maybe it's gonna take a couple times, 3-4 times, but once you have that that fear diminished, what's there to fear?
Right.
Now you can just live life the way you choose to live.
The only thing to fear is fear
Mm.
itself.
True. That's Winston Churchill?
No, FDR.
FDR. Oh,
FDR when
wrong old guy in World War II.
yeah,
Yeah.
FDR when the Japanese bombed Hawaii,
Oh,
Pearl Harbor. That's what he said to Congress. Why are you laughing?
Really?
Why is Russell laughing? Oh, he's
That's what
laughing
he
at his
said?
phone. Yeah.
That's when it happened.
Yeah, that's what he
Oh.
said. I believe so. In
Interesting.
1941.
Yeah.
To
That's when it
Congress, he
bombed.
said the only thing to fear is fear itself. I believe that's what he said, and that's when he said it.
That is such a good statement, dude.
The only thing to fear is fear itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I think I heard a comic make fun of it. I forgot what the joke was, but
Okay.
it was like,
what was the premise?
if the only thing to fear is fear itself, no shit. I think he was like saying, yeah, well, fear is fear.
Yeah.
It's I
It's
don't
a
know.
contradiction for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, it's
but
a
it was
good
a bold statement.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because if you
No.
don't fear like what you are afraid of, which is I know contradiction, then there's nothing there.
It's a profound statement.
Yeah, it is. I think a lot. Have you heard of this term? Keep it simple, stupid.
Sure.
Bro, that is everything in life. If you
Yeah.
just keep it simple and you just articulate things simply, it feels bold. It feels like I understand. You know what I'm saying?
I think
There
that's
goes.
one of the other keys to public speaking. Keep it simple,
Yeah.
break it down,
Yeah.
and that's where you win the lottery.
Don't try to sound like the smartest guy in the room. Try to be like something Trump does, which I don't like the way he speaks, but something that he does do, everyone's able to understand the way he speaks.
Yes, 'cause
That's
he
just-
speaks like a first grader.
Well, true. Yes, he does. But is he a dumb guy? I don't think he's a dumb guy. I'm sure he knows
No,
more
he's not
words.
dumb.
You know what I'm saying? He knows more
he
words.
knows
than he's
so
saying.
many words. You wouldn't believe in Matt. He knows more words than anyone in the world. He practically invented words.
But he's able to read a room and speak to, the masses. Simply.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
well, he became president of the
became
United
president of the
States.
States. Probably again. We'll see.
He should do a master class on how to talk to people. Let's see how that goes.
I know, huh? That'd be interesting, actually.
Yeah. I don't know. He would probably just be complimenting himself the entire time. It would just be like, oh.
Oh, Trump.
On that note, though,
Good to go?
yes.
Good
Very
luck
good.
on your stand-up.
Thank you.
Is it an open mic or what is it?
Yep.
Okay.
15 minutes.
15 minutes today.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you got to take this one.
Alrighty.
Alright.
See you
Later.
guys.